Hey guys, today we're starting on HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's the basic backbone to all web pages. This is the original web page code that's out there, and everything uses it nowadays. So it's really important to know. Later on, we'll be learning CSS and maybe a little bit of JavaScript. So let's see. So here's how we get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the main menu, go to Accessories, and open the text editor. The first thing you're going to want to do is actually save this. So we go to File, Save As. Make sure to save it in your Handin folder, actually in your Quarter1 folder, which I don't have on this computer. So you can see, actually, I already have a webpage.html thing here. Make sure that when you save it as web page or whatever it is you want it to be, .html. Without that .html, it may not work right. So I am going to cancel this, but you should save it. And I'm just going to open what I already have there. So I'm going to open, and I've got webpage.html here. And I have this thing here. And this is my basic skeleton of what all HTML looks like. What you should notice here is that at the top you've got doctype HTML, and that tells the computer what kind of code this is. But you also have these tags with the angle brackets. And you have to make sure that they are angle brackets. I've got HTML and /HTML. This is called an opening tag, and this is called a closing tag. And almost all tags, not all of them, but most of them, do have opening tags and closing tags. So we've got HTML, we've got head, title, and body. Notice how the head and the head closes before the body starts. Okay? So you can copy and paste this straight from the website, wilfmath.com. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just type in hello world in the title there. And I'm going to save. Control S, saves. Now let's open this folder back up. And I'm going to right click on this. And I've got a bunch of options here. And I'm actually going to choose Open with Chromium web browser. And what I get here is just a blank, totally blank screen, except what you should notice two things. First thing is the file path for where your file is saved is right here. So it's in my home py Handin folder webpage.html. And yours should be exactly like that, except that you should have right here Quarter1 and then another slash. The other thing that you should notice is that up here it says hello world. That's exactly what I typed over here. Cool, huh? All right. So next, what I want to do is I want to put some content in the main window area here. So this, what you see up here, that's the head. What you see down here, that's the body. So let's see here. I want to use something for the body here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type a P. And the P stands for paragraph. So I can type, this is a paragraph. And then I'm going to close this P tag by having angle bracket /P angle bracket. Now, it doesn't show up right away. There are two things I need to do. First is to save it. So you can tell something is unsaved by that little star. So I'm going to hit Control S to save it. Now that star goes away. I come back to my web browser. Still nothing shows up. all I have to do is hit reload. And this is a paragraph. And that's how you view your progress as you are doing your work. All right. Now, that's kind of nice if I wanted to just fill it up with small text, but I want to have headers for each of my paragraphs. So here's what I'm going to do. And this indentation, you don't have to do the indentation, but it helps view what's going on. Some of the programming languages that we're going to use do require you to tab in or indent, but it's really not necessary for HTML. So here's how I put in a header. I do H1, and I'm just going to put in, this is a header, /H1. Now I'll save, and I will reload. And it says this is a header before it says this is a paragraph. So actually the headers go from H1 to H6. And if I wanted that to be a little bit smaller, I could maybe, I'll move this from H1 to H3. So I'll save that, see what this looks like. Oh, that's much more manageable. It's much smaller, so I can see what I'm doing. Or I could have multiple headers. Let's say I've got sections and subsections, right? So I could put H1. This is a big header /H1. And here I could say this is a small header. And then what I'm also going to do is H6. H6 is the smallest header, so I'll type this is the smallest header, H6, and I will save that, refresh the page, and look at that. The smallest header is actually smaller than the regular paragraph text. Alrighty, this is basically all you need to know for today's lesson. What I want you to do is make a web page that talks about your favorite food. Use at least 2 headings and 2 paragraphs. It's up to you. Now keep in mind you can use the same header more than once. So you can have H1, H3, H6, you can recycle those. Those just stand for the sizes, so you can still have H3 again. So just keep that in mind, and I look forward to seeing what you're writing about.